Why did WWE release 11 different talents on June 12th, 2014? So today I'm basically just going to talk about, why all these different wrestlers, referee, Teddy Long, he's not a wrestler, he's not a referee, were all released. I'll just quickly run down who was released if you don't know. Drew McIntyre, Jinder Mahal, Oksana, Kurt Hawkins, Teddy Long, Camacho, Brodus Clay, Evan Bourne, Yoshitatsu, referee Mark Harris, and JTG. All of these people were released. So let's get to why they were released. This report comes from PWInsider.com. I'll read it directly from the page. We have heard that Mark Carrano, who works in talent relations under Triple H, is the man who made most, if not all, of the calls to the released talent today. It is fair to say that at least some of those let go would have appreciated that the call came from Triple H himself. There's a lot of talk that the cuts/releases are not done, and that there will be cuts on the administrative side of the company as well, perhaps as soon as tomorrow, June 13th. Potential cuts loom across pretty much all departments. The word making the rounds is that the current state of the WWE Network, its success or lack thereof, is what is precipitating cuts both in talent as well as potentially in office staff. That wouldn't bode well for the state of the network. That wouldn't bode well for state of the network base when they release the current subscriber numbers at the second quarter earnings conference call. So basically, what they're saying there at the end is that this couldn't, releasing all these different talents could possibly mean that, the subscriber numbers may have actually fallen. There may actually be less than 667,000, which was the last number that had been released for the WWE Network of subscribers. So that's pretty much it. WWE have released all these different talents because of the fact that the WWE Network is bombing. It's failing. It's just there's so many. The thing is, it's like I just don't really see the reason. Here's the thing about the WWE Network. The WWE Network appeals to a hardcore niche of fans. And a lot of those hardcore niche fans will, they're hardcore. They're extreme. They will go to the ends of the earth to find these, let's just say that they'll find, maybe nefarious means to possibly get these, pay-per-views or whatever. So I don't know if this WWE Network thing is the greatest idea in the world. I think in the future it could be a big thing. But WWE giving up on the pay-per-views was such a horrible idea. Just giving up on being on DirecTV, Dish Network. Terrible idea. Now, overseas, this could be a big thing. Who knows? Who knows if this this could be a really big deal overseas. This whole WWE Network thing, UK, and I don't know if Australia it's going to be there, where wherever it's going to be where they're going to have it overseas. So I don't know, this WWE Network thing, it is not looking good right now. I don't think it's ever going to get. I don't know if it's ever going to get to 1 million. I don't know if it ever will. I think it's going to be around that 600 to 700,000 range. I don't know if it's ever. I mean, unless just people get used to not wanting to order pay-per-views. Look, the younger people, the older that the older the younger people get, like people who are now 20, who are used to watching stuff on Netflix, used to watching stuff on WWE Network, whatever, they'll eventually be older, and the older people who are now because a lot of it's older people. A lot of the people who are still ordering pay-per-views are people who are in their 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s. Because WWE has a very older audience. It's not really a lot of kids. And there's kids. Don't get me wrong. There are kids who like WWE. I was a kid. When I started watching WWE, I was a kid. So. And that's how most of these wrestling fans start. They start watching as kids. I mean, I can't imagine very many people watching wrestling from the age, starting like at 32 or something. I'm sure there are people. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure there are people who do watch WWE the first time or get into it when they're 32 years old. They've never been into it before. But it's rare. It's usually a thing that they start liking on their kids. And that's what it is with most of the wrestlers, too. Most of the wrestlers, there's not very many wrestlers, who start liking wrestling at 30. I know Ken Anderson started liking wrestling when he was an adult. Because it was during the Attitude Era. That's different. That was the hottest era in wrestling ever. So that was different. But anyways, I don't see the WWE Network ever, unless wrestling gets really hot. If pro wrestling can somehow, over the next several years, these NXT guys start bringing up to the roster. It's not they've released. They've made some room for those to bring up some more of those guys. I believe that it's possible that maybe because look, here's the thing: they already brought up some of these NXT guys. They haven't been huge successes, most of them. The only ones that really have been successful were the Wyatt family. That's really the only successful team. Shield, I don't believe the Shield were ever on NXT. The actual group, the wrestlers were. But and look, Ambrose and Rollins, they were already in the Indies. They already had honed their craft a lot. They were already very good already before they even came into the WWE developmental system. So, Adam Rose, Bo Dallas is still. I still can't make it. If he's successful or yet not. Some people are saying he's doing well right now. Some people say he's not. Paige has been poorly booked. She has basically no character. Emma was also poorly booked. She has more of a character than Paige, but still poorly booked. There's a few others that you could talk about, but I don't know if Fandango was on NXT or not, the character of Fandango. But and Summer Rae was on NXT, but she was also on FCW too. So you can't really say that was NXT, talent. So we really don't know how great NXT is yet. We need to wait and see, because there's a lot of people talking about how great it is. The fact that they're creating all these great talents. Let's wait and see over the next several years when they bring up Tyler Breeze, when they bring up Adrian Neville and Charlotte and all these different wrestlers, when they bring up all the ones that are, Sami Zayn, I think is probably the one that people talk about the most, formerly known as El Generico. He's the person that they talk about the most when it comes to bringing up from NXT. We'll see how successful he is. But anyways, WWE Network is the cause of all these releases, and there's probably going to be some more today, June 13th. So don't be surprised. If you want to hear more detail on me talking about these releases, go to the Wrestling News Now YouTube channel, youtube.com/Wrestling News Now, and there's a video on there where I talk about all the different releases in detail. It's over 20 minutes. I talk about it, and that's it. So don't be surprised if there's some more releases today.